Hey guys, welcome to another episode of LJ's Garage. Today we're doing some maintenance on the M3. We're going to do an oil change and spark plugs, and then maybe some other things. I don't know yet, but stay tuned. We're just going to do a quick little video on this one. All the tools and everything you need for the spark plugs are going to be right here somewhere. Maybe here, depends how I feel. But if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and we'll just hop right into things. Alright, I know it's a little dirty. Just got back from a trip to Canada, but let's go ahead and just hop right into things like I said. So you're going to remove this guy right here. This guy right here, one right there, this guy right here, and then just follow along this little shroud. But there's one right there, one right there, one right there, one right here, one right here, one right there, and then this last one right there. And we'll go ahead and remove those and then go on to the next step. So go ahead and knock that out. So this one is just like a little rivet that pops right out. So here's one of the panels off. You can get a little creative with these, but I ended up just using a 10mm socket on there and it was able to grab pretty good. But as you can see behind them, these are just quarter turn. That's all you're doing. These guys are a little bit different. So this is a half and a half. Yeah, half. And then this guy was a 10mm right here. All right, so got the 3 here, 3 there, and then these 2 and this last guy. So now this can wiggle freely. And you just got to get it through these little plastic boots. This one I'm just going to lift up on, and then this one I'm just going to slide it through. And now you got your brace out. We're going to put this somewhere nice and safe and protect this nice carbon fiber. Because yeah, this is indeed real carbon fiber. So removing this little rubber boot can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's actually not too bad. You got the same little, where'd they go? These guys right here, these little plastic clips, grommets, thingy-mabobber, rivets. Those are in there. Then you're gonna disconnect this and this whole piece starting here. Whoop, there goes that. But yeah, this whole thing comes out. So remove those. I got this out of the way. So the next thing is to remove this completely if you wanted to. Got one more little rivet right there. This boot just pops off, so it's just a little cover. And then you're gonna go ahead and remove this sensor and put that somewhere safe. All right, so once you got everything on this side done, just go ahead and pull straight up. And then this guy disconnects and just set it all to the side. Try not to destroy anything. I don't feel like fighting with these little rubber clips or grommets, rivets, whatever the F they are. So I'm just gonna move forward. All right, so what I've gone ahead and done, there's gonna be this one and this one. Go ahead and pop this little cover off and then go ahead and remove these 2 bolts that are sitting right in there. Basically what we're gonna do next is we're trying to get this brace out, and it's a pain because it uses a bunch of different sizes along the way. So going back to this, we're gonna remove these 2 big 16s right in there. And those are really the only ones that are holding that middle part in, and then we'll talk about the others. Now that we're back to this part now, all you're gonna do is simply just follow this around. So you got these 1, 2, 3 here, you got this guy here, this guy here, this guy here, and then same thing on the other side. There's a bunch of E-torques, so it's 11, 12, and 14, I believe. Let me double check my maths. Yeah, it should be 11, 12, and 14, and those are gonna be these guys. Your E-torques. So if you don't have the kit, I think I paid 15 for this, so it's worth the investment because if you do anything on this car, there's a lot of these all over the place. But I would say that if not, you're just gonna have to borrow from a friend or get creative. All right, with those out of the way, this strut should be free. I'm just gonna give it a little finesse here. Wiggle it free on that side. Whew. Next thing we're going to do is we're just going to remove this little cover. Let's give it a little pop up. Boop. That's out. Now for this next part, what we're going to do is we've got to get this little weather stripping, this plastic piece out the way. So if you trace this around, there's going to be these 10mm bolts right here. There's 3 of them back there. Then on the other side, there should be 2, I believe, maybe 3 as well. But somewhere around here, you should have these 10mm bolts. I did miss one. It's right under here, but that should be the only secret one. So the next thing that we're going to do, once you've got all those removed, you've got this little wire that runs along here and then comes around this side. So when you pull this plastic piece up, just be careful of that. Just separate the wire and then just make sure you're not pulling that out with everything, if that makes sense. Next step is going to be to remove this sensor and then move your intake. We're going to end up taking this whole pipe out of the way. So this guy connects in one place here, and then there's another clamp down at the bottom. So pretty easy. If you've ever removed any intake on any car, just follow the plumbing and just remove that there. So this guy down here, you can either use a flathead or a 6mm socket. All right, so I've got this piece. This is the intake out. What I did was I kept the sensor in, just removed the plug, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and set this out the way. This probably needs a good cleaning, but I just yoinked it out. You're allowed to do it however you want, but I just gave it a little wiggle, twist and turn, and it popped right out. With the intake out of the way, you're gonna look down under here, and there's gonna be another hose clamp right under there, so you're gonna remove that so we can move this pipe out of the way. So now that that's out of the way, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take this little rag, and I'm just gonna hold it over this, because I don't want anything to fall down in there. So I'm just gonna keep that nice and tight. And then for the charge pipes themselves, you're gonna go ahead and remove these connectors right here, these two brackets, and then down, if you follow the piping, there's gonna be a bolt right there, and then same thing on the other side. All right, so charge pipe is out. It is just one down here, and this one actually ended up being an E11 size bit, so you gotta bring that back out. Then this thing just wiggles out, pretty nice. Do that on both sides. All right, charge pipe's out of the way. The next thing is going to be to remove this engine cover right here. And then just be careful, you've got these wires and connectors all over the place. So you're just gonna kind of lift up on it and scooch that out of the way, and then we'll be on to the next part. All right, with that out of the way, as you can see, you've got access to all of your spark plugs. To do this, I'm gonna show you guys on one and you guys got the rest, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up, it just pops up like so, and it pops up, and you'll see that it pushes that out right there. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and put something in here, like an extension, something like that. I can't get anything, but something like this, and you're just gonna hold it that way. And you wanna make sure it's flat, so you got even tension on both sides, and you're just gonna pull up, and that'll pop the plug right out. Let me grab something else to use. Before you do that, go ahead and unplug it all the way, my bad. So once you lift this up, you're gonna go ahead and pull this connector all the way out of the way. Then go ahead and push this through, get this nice and even, and give it even force. Pull up on it nice and straight. Then you're gonna go ahead and have your plug out the way, and we're just gonna go ahead and set that to the side somewhere nice so it doesn't destroy itself. And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and get your socket. You're gonna need a 14mm thin wall socket, just like this. And this one does have a little wiggle on there. So once you get that all good to go ahead and get that connected, boom, boom, and just like that. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then once it's nice and loose, I usually disconnect the socket, give it a little turn. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, remember all that? Then, once you're out, you should have a spark plug. As you can see, this one's had a little bit better days, but just go ahead and get that swapped for the new one. And remember, we don't use anti-seize on these. I got all of this stuff from FCP Euro, so if you guys are on the market for stuff, that's where I got everything. I recommend them a lot for everything Euro. And once you got the old one out the way, you're just gonna go ahead, get your new one. These are pre-gapped and everything, so there's nothing to do, but if you are someone who's very cautious, make sure that you check the gapping if you wanted to. Then you're just gonna go ahead, try not to touch the porcelain too much, but you're gonna go ahead and just push this in, and it's nice and magnetic. Whoop. So get that nice in there, it's nice and snug. And then I believe these are about 18 foot-pounds. I'll put the extra correction, but what I like to do is, without the socket, I'll do a left turn, and then a right turn, so that way I don't cross thread. That would be the worst thing that you could possibly do. And then you just want to get this nice and going. And once you know that you got a nice bite to it, you're going to go ahead and break out your torque wrench and torque these down to the spec that I've put up on the screen. I've done this without using torque wrenches many times in the past, so you don't have to use a torque wrench, but strongly recommend it. So now I've got that cranked down to 18 foot-pounds. I'm going to go ahead and throw this plug back in. So you're just going to go ahead and stick that right back in. Everything should line up straight as long as you did everything right. So go ahead and pop that down in. You're going to put your connector back on and then slide and close. Bam, one plug done. And rinse and repeat, like I said. I really wanted to show you guys the reinstallation procedures for everything, but my camera ended up dying and I was running out of daylight. It takes a lot of time to set up the camera, record, and do the work, so I apologize for that, but next time I'll make sure that I have my camera fully charged up, but otherwise just do everything in repeat. If you made it this far, thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, learned something, and hopefully save some money doing this yourself. But otherwise, see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.